Who do we got?
Laura of the North for the first time. Oh, no, I think we're live. We are live. We are. I didn't have to hit start. There you go. As if by magic we just sort of stumbled on in there, as you do.
Yes, Laura is here, it looks like, for the first time live. Wendy, hello. Shauna, hello. Susan, hello.
Helena, hello.
Elena, hello.
Well, hello everybody, Pips, isn't it?
Welcome to Book Club.
Yes, it's a full moon. And, well, the moon's not up yet, so, my hair hasn't started to grow, so we should be all right. Hopefully we get to the end of this.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I got bitten by a wolf. Where? No, the regular kind. But I'm ching. Never mind.
Must be the meds.
There's heavily medicated for your protection.
Alrighty, where are we up to?
Should we light a candle? What do you think?
Would you like me to light a candle?
I would like a candle. We are, believe it or not, Chapter 9, the dedication rite. So if you've been working your way through this is where we're up to now. This is where you seal the deal, so to speak.
All right.
Who's starting? You?
Me.
Okay.
This chapter is a culmination of all that has led to this point, your dedication to the old gods. The following pages detail how to prepare for and perform a complete dedication ritual to the Lord and Lady. So basically, this is between you and your big good things.
Yes.
It is not an initiation.
Oh, no.
It's a personal dedication.
Different animal.
Preparation for dedication. All of the preparations you must make. The first and of all the preparations that you must make, the first and foremost is that of your mindset. Do you fully understand the nature of the commitment you're about to make? And are you ready to make it? Dedication is not a trivial act. Hopefully, you've fully considered the implications of committing yourself to lead a magical life that honors your deities through your words and your deeds. In a way, this is similar to a hand fasting, in that you are promising yourself for, at the very least, a year and a day, to honor and to serve the craft of the wise and the family, meaning the group or pantheon, you choose. So it's much better to not overpromise. Right?
Under promise, over deliver. Don't do it the other way around.
No. Under promise, over deliver, not the other way around. Yes. No matter whether you're making your commitment as part of a group or yours is personal and private dedication of a solitary, you should speak your promise out loud, even if you find your voice is shaking. Yes, hello, Lori, I see you. Write your dedication much like you would create wedding vows, being mindful of not making any promises that you're not really prepared to keep. It does not matter if you can't afford your deities anything more than your love, for the old gods value simple purity of heart, far above any failed intention, no matter how well they're meant. So, you don't want to say, I will light a candle for you every day, and then not do it. We think it's important that you actually write down the words rather than try to remember what you wanted to say, then wind up forgetting in the emotions of the moment. You could make it rhyme or tell a story. It could be a lengthy speech or something short, sweet promise. Whatever you feel is right. Think about your words for a few days prior, and feel free to tweak them. Then you can read it during your rite and be able to speak from your heart. Here's an example.
You want me to do that one? Great Mother Ceridwen, your hidden child calls to you. I ask for your love and guidance as I walk upon this path. In return, I offer you my respect and devotion. I am at your service, and I will be mindful to help those who walk with me. I look forward to learning and growing as I work to understand all you have to teach me. I hear your words, Great Mother. Let there be beauty and strength, power and compassion, honour and humility, mirth and reverence within me as I seek to know you. And I know that the seeking and yearning will avail me not unless I know the mysteries. I know that which you seek must be found within, and I ask you, Great Mother, to guide and guard me on my journey. Blessed be. As you can see, that pays a little bit of an homage to the charge of the goddess
sure.
there. But why not? Why not indeed? So, yeah, we have seen in our time some truly beautiful dedications.
Some that were sung.
Yeah, but some of the most powerful ones we've seen is where somebody stood there literally quivering with their voice shaking, because we knew
it's a big step.
We knew they were there for exactly the right reasons. That, you know, this is not a time for BS and trying to impress people. This is between you and your deities, or deities. So it is very, very important, your dedication. So, what to wear? If you're dedicating in private, you may choose to work skyclad. The mosquitoes will like it. And wear nothing but your birthday suit, other than perhaps a cord with your power jar and an athame for easy access. You might consider wearing a robe that you could make yourself, as there are some pretty simple patterns out there. If sewing is not your thing, you could always order a robe from a place you trust.
Or make it out of a sheet.
You could, yeah. Whichever way you go, do give some thought to the colour and material. You're not limited to black velvet, honestly, even though that's a pretty good song. Above all, being robed or skyclad is not a requirement. You could wear any clothing you would wear to a special occasion and be comfortable. You know, the idea is to be, you know, it could even be a nice piece of sleepwear if you like, you know.
Something that makes you feel cozy.
Special. The idea is to make it respectful and comfortable. You probably do not wish to come before the old ones in attire your grandmother would find distasteful. See what I'm saying there? Do you want to continue?
Where to hold your right.
Indeed.
Some people are lucky enough to have a beautiful and safe outdoor space. If you do, that's wonderful. Whatever you choose, please be sure it is safe from onlookers who might disturb you. Within your home is a perfectly acceptable place, too. Be sure to clear the space of anything that might be distracting or seems too mundane. We would also suggest moving out or shutting down any electronic equipment or computer-type things or cell phones or other devices that might make noise, unless you're using them for background music, which is
fine, yes.
We would also recommend that your space should be clean and uncluttered. It might be a good idea to tidy up, run the vacuum. After all, you're inviting some pretty important guests to come and witness this, and you don't want them to have to sit on a stack of newspapers. Having chosen and secured and properly prepared your spot, the final step is to choose an appropriate day and time for your ritual. You have all that information in this book. As before, consider the astrological and elemental energies available to you. See Chapter 5.
See Chapter 5.
Ideally, you should plan your dedication to occur on an espet, a new or a full moon.
Tonight would be a good night.
Oh, perfect. Be sure to record the date in your book of shadows or personal journey.
So preparing yourself, the ritual bath. We say bath. If you don't have a bath, it's okay.
Hi, Carol.
We will explain more. So prior to your dedication, we strongly recommend taking a ritual bath to ensure that you will come to the circle free of unwanted energies, be they negative or simply mundane. You may wish to place some herbs or oils in the bathwater that correspond to the astrological or elemental energies of the day, the deity to whom you're dedicating yourself, or just simply for purification. Whatever you decide to use, just make sure your choices are safe for use and you aren't allergic to any of them. We have a tip for the top here.
Get in the tub
before you
the
put
oil
your oils
on. if you drop the oil on the water and sit on it.
Mucous
Not so
membranes
good.
could be quite owy. We speak from experience, believe me.
Oh, hey. Speak for
Okay,
yourself.
but if you prefer, you could use bath salts instead. You could make your own, or you could purchase ones that have been made just for this purpose. As a practical tip, oh look, we got there ahead of ourselves. As a practical tip, we strongly suggest adding oils after you've gotten in, as they tend to sit on the surface of the water and can be irritating to the more delicate parts when sat upon, so to speak. Herbs might be best contained in some kind of cheesecloth or fillable tea bag, so they do not actually clog your drain. Ever practical, aren't we? You might also want to light some special candles or burn some incense to help create a reverent atmosphere and aid your focus. This atmosphere is especially important if you are unable to add anything to your bath, perhaps due to allergies, etc. Then it all comes down to intent, really. But that's the most important
Well,
thing.
this is your basic purification and clearing away the mundane.
So as you sit in the water, be especially mindful of the commitment you're about to make. Feel the water cleansing your pores and pulling away any doubt or negative thoughts, especially thoughts about being unworthy or that would in any way hinder you from allowing yourself to move forward. We all have that imposter syndrome,
Dwellers
don't we?
on the threshold.
We do, yeah. When you finish, picture all the unwanted energy, stress and worry becoming part of the water and just leaving as it swirls down the drain. Towel off and then proceed to your ritual.
Dedication ritual. Above all else, this is your ritual. Feel free to craft your rite in a way that's just right for you. It can be as elaborate or as simple as you want it to be. You could go all out with a complete altar set using all your own tools, and you could simply go out into nature and find a clearing in the forest and speak to from your heart to the ancient ones. When it comes to the rite itself, there's really no singular correct format, but we've included a ritual for people to use to dedicate from our own tradition, and it'll give you a starting point. You may use whatever parts you like or add your own personal touches. Set your altar with something to represent the deity you're inviting, a place for each of the elementals to reside, any tools you might need, like maybe you want to use anointing oil or ritual salt, a water bowl, a candle, incense. Make sure you have a lighter if you're going to light anything, or matches. Have your athame with you if you have one, and don't worry if you don't. You can simply point with your fingers and draw the invoking and banishing pentagrams for each direction. Oh gosh, what are they?
Speaking of, invoking and banishing pentagrams. Well, before you begin, you might want to practice drawing the pentagrams that we've illustrated in the book until you know them by heart, okay?
Hello, Cass. And this is what everybody asks us when they're taking Craft of the Wise, and we tell them in our book, page 172.
just got to work at it. You just got to work at it. Start at the point indicated, because we show the starting point, and move in the direction shown by the arrow. Trace that pentagram and remember to overlap the first leg by drawing it again with the final stroke to seal.
Okay.
So you got to practice that, and it's pretty pointless us doing this because you're going to be looking at it backwards.
Right, but I'm just going to say to you,
yes,
if we think about the elements, we said that air and fire were masculine, and water and earth were feminine.
Okay.
And we said that fire was fixed masculine, and water was fixed feminine, and that earth was fixed feminine, and that air and water are the introducers. They're passive. So when we divide our bodies, the left half of our body is the feminine receptive side, and the right half of our body is the masculine projective side. So when we're drawing fire, we draw down to our right foot, the masculine side. And when we're drawing earth, we draw down to our left foot, the feminine side.
This is hugely helpful.
Right? Just take a little step forward when you get there so you know that's the foot you're drawing to. And then for east, you're drawing outwards from right to left. And for west, you're drawing outwards from left to right.
If you think about it, right, your feet represent the fixed bit. It's what you stand on, and your hands are what introduces, because you shake hands, don't you? And so it's, if you picture that kind of Leonardo da Vinci, dude stood there, he sort of forms that pentagram. So once you work at this, it gets easier, and it'll become second nature to you. But there is no substitute for practice. And we've had people, seriously, even just like do a little crib sheet on their wrist, haven't they? Which is
right
fine.
Here with us tonight, in fact.
Whatever works for you works, until you've got it down. But there is no substitute for practicing that. I've got to go again. And just remember, the feet are the fixed part. So when you draw down to your feet, you're drawing towards, you're invoking the fixed elements, yeah? And when you're drawing with your hand away kind of thing, or your hand toward, that's like your introduction. Those are your passive ones. And left is your feminine side, and right is your masculine side. And when you've got that in your head, it's much easier to kind of draw that.
All right, pray continue.
Pray continue. So, all right, well, we've kind of done that to death. I mean, you really need to look at the illustration on page 172 and just have at it, all right? So, now that your preparations are complete and the allotted hour has come, it's time to begin your ritual. Approach the altar and stand facing it. Pause and take a deep cleansing breath. Pick up your salt dish and walk around the border of the circle. You're performing a clearing, so you may want to go Widdershins or Dios or whatever actually feels right for you at this stage. We have a way within our own tradition, but this is your dedication, right?
These are suggestions for your outline.
Exactly. If you wish, you can sprinkle a small amount of salt in each of the four corners. However, if you're worried about your pets, hold the bowl and show it to each direction. Or I would suggest try and get yourself some food-grade salt, Yeah, it's not hard. Bow and nod as you pause at each quarter. You can work in silence, or you may, if you wish, say something like, "With the power of earth, I cleanse and clear my sacred space." Remember to close your circle after working your way round the quarters by bowing again to the direction where you started before returning the salt dish to the altar. You don't want to do the Pac-Man thing, leave that. Yep. You've got to go whole way round the circle. All right. Next, go around the circle with a water bowl in exactly the same way. Again, you might want to work in silence or say something like, "With the power of water, I cleanse and clear my sacred space." As before, you may sprinkle or just show the water bowl to each direction, depending upon your circumstances. Now you could purify the circle with the element of fire by going around with a candle. If you're not working in silence, maybe say something like, "With the power of fire, I cleanse and clear my sacred space." Pause at each quarter and feel the energy of the flame clearing and warming up the space. Remember to close your circle by acknowledging the direction in which you started with a bow or a nod before returning the candle to the altar. And then finally, you might want to use your incense to represent the element of air. Going around once more and, if appropriate, saying, "With the power of air, I cleanse and clear my sacred space." As you work your way round, see any unwanted energy being lifted away with the smoke. As before, seal your circle and return the censer to the altar. Now, it's not really necessary for you to cleanse and clear yourself with the four elements, as remember, you've just had a ritual bath and should therefore be clear of any negativity. However, if you feel driven to do so, go right ahead. Certainly can't hurt. Certainly can't. So next you want to create your sacred space between the worlds by calling the quarters. If you're working solitary, you can essentially cast your circle simply by calling the quarters. You may begin in the north or the east, either is acceptable, but be mindful to close the circle by coming all the way back to where you began, or you'll have that wedge of space like that Pac-Man still open. Remember to bow, nod, or otherwise Acknowledge the direction in which you've started to complete and cast and seal the sacred space. Do you want to go?
Assuming you're starting in the east, turn to the direction and say, All hail to the guardians of the eastern watchtower. Air, bring forth your elemental power. Great ones of the east, we or I welcome you. Guard and guide us well, so mote it be. Or something to that effect. And remember we had said before that you want them to match. So after you've said these words to the east, draw the air invoking pentagram with your athame or pointer finger. Pause for a moment and feel the energy that you've summoned. Think about all the things that you know that go with east and air. Then turn to the south and say the same thing except change it for that direction. All hail to the guardians of the southern watchtower. Fire, bring forth your elemental power. Great ones of the south, we welcome you, or I welcome you. Guard and guide me or us well. So mote it be. Then draw your fire invoking pentagram again with either your athame or wand or your finger. Pause for a moment and feel the energies that you've summoned. Think about those colors and things that are associated with the energy. Then you're going to repeat this around the circle. Next you would face the west and change again so the invocation works for that direction. All hail to the guardians of the western watchtower. Water, bring forth your elemental power. Great ones of the west, we or I welcome you. Guard and guide us well, so mote it be. Then draw the water invoking pentagram. Pause and feel the energies that come from the west. Finally turn to the north and change it again so that it matches. All hail to the guardians of the northern watchtower. Earth, bring forth your elemental power. Great ones of the north, we welcome you. Guard and guide us well, so mote it be. Draw an earth-invoking pentagram with your athame, finger, wand. Pause for a moment and feel the energies that you have summoned arrive. When you're done with the north, remember to turn and bow to the east so you complete that circle. If you're working alone, you can come back to the altar and declare that the circle is cast. Say something like, I cast and seal this circle in perfect love and perfect trust. Let only love enter and let only love leave, so mote it be. If you're working in a group, you could cast the circle hand to hand, heart to heart, or whatever your tradition is. And usually it's left hand up, right hand down to make that circuit of energy.
If you are completely stuck, you can always use circle in a box.
You could do your ritual to circle in a box. There's 9 minutes for your dedication in there.
Absolutely.
Then you would invoke your deities now that you've set your sacred space. And then speak from the heart, ideally out loud, even if you're by yourself. For example, an invocation might be worded such as, Caradwin, Great Mother, your hidden child calls to you. Come and join this rite. Come to this space and work magic with me. Join me now, Great Mother, so mote it be. Call to any other energies or witnesses that you would like present. Perhaps it's an ancestor spirit, or you welcoming your spirit guide or guardian. And when you feel all of the energies are present that you would like to have there combined, you could then proceed with your dedication, saying something like, those who have been called to witness and validate this rite, recognize me. State your regular name. For I do come before you freely and willingly, without reservation. I declare before all those present that I am prepared to take my oath and work with you. Now read your dedication, the one you previously prepared, even if your voice shakes. If you were dedicating with a group of people within our tradition, we would now perform a traditional 5-fold blessing and welcome each person to the path. The dedicant's spirit, mouth, heart, hands, and feet are blessed and anointed, consecrated in turn as the following is read. Blessed be thy spirit that remembers the old ways. So you could say, blessed be my, if you wanted to. Blessed be thy mouth that speaks the truth. Blessed be thy heart that knows the love of the ancient ones. Blessed be my hands that work the magic. And blessed be my feet that walk the path. And if you're working by yourself, just modify it like we said. being conscious of awakening the energies that are flowing now into your physical body. Oh, I just did that already. Blessed be my spirit. Feel the energy on the top of your head. Blessed be my mouth. Think about how this relates to you. What might you express or reveal as part of your journey going forward? Blessed be my heart that knows the love of the ancient ones. Feel the energy building in your heart center. Blessed be my hands that work the magic. Lift your palms upward and hold them. Feel the energy flowing from above. Blessed be my feet that walk the path. Feel yourself being grounded and steadied in your sacred space. When you're ready, make your statement. By the power of the goddess Caradwen, and in front of these witnesses, if you've called them, call them by name, I now declare myself to be, express your magical name, your hidden child and dedicant for 1 year and 1 day. By your grace may I grow and learn as I walk on this path filled with mystery.
Although this concludes your personal dedication, you're still standing in a circle that contains some serious magical energy. Rather than just close, you might want to avail yourself of its energy. For example, you could meditate, or maybe even do a small bit of divination for yourself, perhaps pulling a card or two for inspiration, or maybe even empowering a crystal to carry with you for this turn of the wheel.
It holds the energy of that dedication.
You've spent a lot of time and effort, so, use it. When you're ready, when you feel that you are ready, it's time to thank and release those whom you have called. Release any witnesses, guardians, or guides you've asked to join the rite using your own words. Then release your deities, perhaps saying something like, Great Mother Caradwen, I do thank you for witnessing this rite and guiding me well. I release you from this space, but ask that you remain forever in my heart. Go in peace. Go in love. Blessed be.
That is Emmett.
Emmett would like to come and crash the party, I think.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, it's terrible. It's terrible. So now the process of returning your place between the worlds back to the mundane by releasing the quarters. Again, you may choose to release them, Diosel or Widdershins, whichever feels right to you. Assuming you are releasing Widdershins, start in the north, which is what you called last, so last in, first out kind of thing. Turn to face that direction and say, Guardians and elementals of the north, I do give my thanks to thee. Earth, I release you now. Go forth and be free. Hail, farewell, and blessed be. Now draw an earth banishing pentagram.
Up from the north.
Yes,
Up
and
from the
foot from the left foot, up from the left foot. Visualize the elemental energy being released and moving out of the circle. And then bow before turning to the next direction. And turn to face the west and say, Guardians and elementals of the west, I do give my thanks to thee. Water, I release you now. Go forth and be free. Hail, farewell, and blessed be. Now draw a water banishing pentagram and visualize the elemental energy being released and moving out of the circle. Then bow before turning to the next direction. So now you'd be facing the south and say, Guardians and elementals of the south, I do give my thanks to thee. Fire, I release you now. Go forth and be free. Hail, farewell, and blessed be. Draw a fire banishing pentagram and visualize the elemental energy being released and moving out from the circle. Bow again before turning to the next direction. And finally turn to the east and say, Guardians and elementals of the east, I do give my thanks to thee. Air, I release you now. Go forth and be free. Hail, farewell, and blessed be. Now you're going to draw an air banishing pentagram and visualize the elemental energy being released and moving out of the circle. Bow as before. In the same way as when you are calling the quarters, remember to close your ring by turning once more to the north and acknowledging the direction with a bow or a nod to finish the release. Now, conclude the rite by returning to the altar and saying something like,
The old gods have been well served. and my dedication witnessed. I declare this circle open but unbroken. Let all spirits and elementals attracted to this rite be on their way now, harming none. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Blessed be. Congratulations, you've completed your dedication rite. All that remains is to return the space back to its mundane, if it is, and put everything away properly and tidy up. Remember your duty of care to your magical tools. Don't just toss them in the drawer. Wipe them clean if you need to. Store them properly. We would also strongly recommend that you make a record of this rite in your Book of Shadows or your Weirdness Journal, while the events of your ritual are still fresh in your mind. You know, how did you feel when you invoked your deities? How did you feel surrounded by those who have gone before you? What was your personal experience like when you called that blessed be thy parts, you know?
It is beautiful, and there's one thing I really want to hammer home here. And you recall the bit where we're finally opening the circle, or closing the circle, whatever way you want to call it. And some people call it open, whatever. But we're returning everything back to the mundane. And we say, you know, I declare the circle open but unbroken. Let all spirits and elementals attracted to this rite be on their way now, humming none. Do not leave that out under any circumstances. All right, it is not optional. It is not, oh, hang around if you want. Believe me, you do not want an unsupervised fire elemental running around in your house. It's not optional. Thank them for their service, and off they go. So,
what do you think? Do you want to do the last chapter?
well, I mean, if we do, we're at the end of our book. I mean, we can do that. There's a lot of thought on there, but there's also perhaps some stuff we could really speak to. I mean, how long is this chapter? We are into
Chapter 10 only has...
it's only like 7 pages, isn't it? So I mean,
I'm really tired, but...
we're tired, but you know, we could.
Right.
But your dedication, right? Let me just say this much before we get tucked into it. We'll decide whether we want to go into this as well.
I think we should save it for next time.
All right,
so
your
tired.
dedication right is not something you half-ass, all right? This is the culmination. If you've worked your way through this book, and when we sat down to write this book, it was really written for somebody who didn't have access
To which
parents, to a group, to any kind of structured stuff. So we've tried to make it equally applicable, although it's very much written from the foundation of our own tradition. It's equally applicable to somebody who does not have the ability, can't get too far away, whatever, and just has to work solitary. But if you've worked your way through this book, all right, you will know, if it's sunk in, the import of what you're about to do when you dedicate yourself to your deities. And it is a dedication. This is not an initiation. It's a whole different animal. An initiation is like getting married into a family, and it's very, very difficult to
get out
undo, you know.
But we've said this before, but a dedication is like going to join a family as an exchange student.
Yeah.
You're there to learn, you're there to participate, you take on the responsibility of yourself and how you work in that group or that family. And, you know, you have to be serious about it. But if you really screw up, you know, they're going to send you home, no harm done, hopefully. So I would, again, be mindful of what you're promising.
Yes.
But if you are being initiated, that is a whole different ball of wax.
Oh, yeah.
That is more than a year and a day's commitment. That is many, many years' commitment. And it's like being married to that group.
You're also going to do probably an awful lot more study than just going through this book. You know, it's a good primer. Don't get me wrong. This is introducing
No, the work
you to
will
stuff,
begin.
But there's so many people come to this, and this is the one thing that we try to impress upon everybody who sort of comes and, you know, walks with us for a while or found their forever family. You know, it's like, it's not a race. it's not a race. It's not something you can rush up to the door that has no key and bang on and demand entry. This is you. It's your journey. Nobody can have your journey but you. Nobody but you can have your journey. You can't journey with somebody else. I mean, yes, you can walk the path with somebody else, but you can't have somebody else's journey. Somebody can't have your journey for you.
Right.
You can't get there riding the coattails of somebody else.
Reading a book is great, but you're experiencing the mysteries through that person's experience.
Indeed.
That's why we're saying have that weirdness journal, that book of shadows. Mark down your experiences, your awakenings to the mysteries, your doors that opened, things that you felt or saw or understood.
It is vitally, vitally important. And understand it's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
We still learn every day.
It is, because only by doing this, only by immersing yourself into a magical life, can you truly experience, only by understanding, if you will, the magic of nature, can you understand the nature of magic. And that is something you can't force, you can't fake.
You can't read it in a book.
You can't read it in a book. Yeah, you can get some good primers. You can get some pointers. We're just a pair of hokey tour guides. That's all we are.
Tons of really, really valuable books on the craft out there.
Absolutely.
But it's not the same as standing before the altar, making your dedication to your deities.
Trembling with tears coming down your cheeks. And we've seen that a lot. And I have a Cancer ascendant, so tears come down my cheeks too, because I cry at chick flicks and all that sort of stuff too, so I can't help it. But it is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's so worth the trip. It is so worth every ounce of effort you put into this is paid back hundreds of times over. If you try and half-arse it, you're going nowhere, But if you are there in pure of heart and pure of intent, and with a that honor and humility, mirth and reverence, these are key. These are key, and it is beautiful, and we would recommend it to anyone, but we don't proselytize. It's not our gig.
Well, it's definitely our path anyway.
It is our path, absolutely.
All right, peeps. I think that we're going to save the next chapter.
I think we should, because
time.
I think there might be a bit of a spirited discussion at the end of the next chapter.
Yes, it's going to take a little longer than the few pages.
Yes, because although it's short, it is not lacking in substance. Right. So thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you so much for joining us. And I know Lisa's got this idea that once we finish this book, that I should stitch it all together, do a little bit of editing, take off top and tail some things,
long video up
and then put it up with chapters in it, so you could read the whole book. And we were smart enough to retain the video rights to our book in our contract, so we're okay doing this. We're okay doing this. So.
And for people in the academy, the meditation for the month drops Wednesday.
Oh yes. Oh, that'll be beautiful, won't it? No idea what it is yet, but I'm sure there's something coming.
It's going to be cool.
So,
don't worry, it always is good.
Oh, we love it. We love doing this. We enjoy it so much, and we love it when you guys come and join in. It really is fulfilling for us.
All right. So thank you to all who watched tonight, and thank you to all who watch in the future.
Yeah, and
peace and blessed.
We'll see you soon. Have a beautiful evening. Be well, be blessed, and blessed be.